Good morning. I'm Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow, and I am here with another live community session for you, streaming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Well, it's not sunny yet. It is still 6 a.m. Good morning to you, and I raise a glass of tea. Not too bad. So my job this morning, or part of my job anyway, is to go through the community issues, questions that you see behind me, and answer as many of them as I can. I've been with ServiceNow for about 7.5 years, and as a customer for a couple before that. I feel like I've got a little bit of experience and like to share it. I am the current top contributor in the community, so we'll see if that counts for anything this morning. I do this every day that I can. Most weekdays, Monday through Friday, unless I have a business trip, family commitment, or holiday comes up, such is the case in the last few weeks. This week's looking pretty clear, though, so I should be able to do this. It's Tuesday now. Keep going till Friday and see what happens after that. And, of course, the holidays are coming up. I wish everybody the best of holidays. I do want to recommend that you go over to developer.servicenow.com and check out the learning paths. Get yourself a free personal developer instance. Take a look at what's over there. A lot of great resources. If you're just starting out on the platform, you can use that as a sandbox for your upgrades. Try that. You know what? I'm going to move the microphone just a little closer. Pardon for any noise. There we go. Got a few people watching. If you've got questions, please post them to the community in community.servicenow.com, and I will answer them if I can. I don't make any promises. Sometimes we might be doing a little scripting. Sometimes we might be doing a little career advice. Don't know. It all depends on what comes up in the community that drives this discussion. If I run out of things that are new, I'll go and look and see what came in overnight. If I run out of things to find and pick and choose from there, I'll go to my inbox and keep the conversation going. So you may see a bit of flipping back and forth. I do use my developer instance quite extensively as I do this, whether it's a REST API, as you see on the screen there, or scripting, or checking fields and attributes on dictionary entries in the records. So one more reminder, Knowledge 18 is coming up May 7th through 10th in Las Vegas. This is our big user conference. Lots and lots of good information there. Live hands-on lab sessions, a lot of sessions from customers telling you everything from how they implemented their CMDB to GRC to their journey from when they started to where they are now. Lots of great information, networking. Can't tell you enough about it. There's part of it called CreatorCon, which is specific to developers and ServiceNow administrators, more technically focused, technically driven. There's information for CIOs. There's information for architects. It's really all over the place. So if you are in any way, shape, or form involved with ServiceNow, I encourage you, go over to knowledge.servicenow.com and take a look. Okay, let's get rid of that. Make my person a little smaller. There we go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me this morning. Let's dive right in and see what we've got. I've got a couple of things to answer that came in overnight. Been doing a little cleaning up too. So, need to create a change task when the change request state moves to implement. I don't recall who the original author is on this. Let's go to the inbox, see what that reply is. This is the original author. And I said, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can do this either with a workflow. I don't know if they have a workflow or not. That's the logical place to create a change task. Or you could do it with a business rule and say when the state changes to, in this case, implement, let's go make a business rule. And I sketched that out for them here. Thanks for the reply. I prefer using a business rule, which you posted above according to your script. I guess the affected CI and assigned task values will be transferred to the change task. In addition to that, could you please let me know how to add a description to the change task? Yeah, it's in the description field. Very easy. Very, very easy. You can simply populate the description field value on the task record created above. Something like task.description equals, I think he said a specific example. in here, implementation phase task. Implementation phase task. There we go. Put that between the new record call, and the insert call. There was one other thing I was going to say about this. Oh, yes. If you don't know the name of a field, simply right-click on the field label and choose Show XXXX, where XXXX is the actual, too few X's, is the actual field name. It may say a label of short description, but the right-click trick will say show short description, not shot, short description. Very easy to do. Think it's worth a screenshot? I think it's worth a screenshot. Let's do right from the table that he's looking at, change task.list. I think I have a few change tasks in my sample data. See how that goes. Change task. And right click, wait for the form to finish loading. Right click, there we go. Show description. Grab a little screen region of that. Missed. Gotta hit the right hotkey. Click, click, click. Go on. There we go. Paste. Now you know the secret to find out what your field name is very, very quickly. Okay. Clean that up a little bit. How do you copy catalog variables to request field? This is an older discussion, but somebody put a comment in recently. It said, my requirement is to copy a particular variable value from RITM to request table. The name of the variable is I need this to be request for. BR is running on SC request table. Okay, so here's the... Thank you for the info. Here's the next question. What would you like to do if you have multiple RITMs on the request? It's a one-to-many relationship. So there's no guarantee that you will only have one RITM with that variable. Next question. What would you like to do? I think I put 4 dots on there. That's my 3. What would you like to do if that variable doesn't exist? So she's got the request, wants to get to the request item, but since any request may have multiple request items, what do you do if there's 2 of them? What do you do if there's 5 of them? A lot of people assume that there's one request item, and then maybe 1 or more tasks. That's not always the case. It gets a little tricky. Same kind of thing with incidents and SLAs. Same kind of thing with affected CIs on a change request. Related lists mean it's a list, and you could have lots of things on there. Okay, you know what? Let's see what came in overnight. Let's just look at the unreplied stuff. Need an extra button for approval of problem task. Take a look at that. Sounds like a UI action. Sporadic behavior regarding email script. Quick message template. Why multiple records with same trigger ID and same ready state are creating assessment. Design pattern of writing script include. That sounds intriguing. I'll take a look at that. How to highlight menu item in service portal header. Manual indicators not showing value. Database view to join 3 tables. Oh my, good luck. Toggle annotation. I'll take a look at that. Error while adding attachment through script in scoped application. I thought I saw a notification on that this morning. I think somebody mentioned me directly by my Gmail address, of all things. Can anyone explain it? How time cards hours will be affected in resource plan? That probably goes in ITBM. Make sure that when you do post a question in the community, you put it in the right space. If it is business related, like project and portfolio suite or GRC, it goes in the proper space, because a lot of these default to the developer community. And while some of them may be solvable by developers, a lot of them may be missed by people who have more experience in that specific area. Trying to use ATF for service mapping patterns. How to add incident number to assessment instance question graph. And the security incident response. Let's show a few more. Now we're getting into 15 hours ago. Data lookup priority automated test framework. I'm going to take a look at that. I like data lookups. All right, that should do it for now. I got a few open tabs and a few open discussions, so keeps my brain busy for a few more minutes. The whole purpose of me doing this is not just to obviously help others solve their questions and problems, but also to give you some insight as to how I solve things in my head. What's going on? What is the thought process? If I don't know the answer, where do I go to find that information? Kamar is asking, topic, please. My topic for this? The topic is that I'm going into the community and doing this stuff live, as I just said, to give you some insights as to how I solve these problems, what the thought process is, pass on best practices, and give you information like that. So you're free to listen to this in the background. You're free to do with it what you wish. Hopefully you'll find it useful and informative. It's just a way to see what happens. I'm doing the community for an hour or more each day, so why not share the thoughts that go into my head? It's a little slower for me when I have to articulate what's going on. I don't flip screens quite as often this way. I've noticed that my community productivity has gone down, but I hope the value has gone up in what you get out of that. So let's take a look at this one that I pulled up. Need an extra button for approval of problem task. Hello. In problem, there are 4 tasks, but only for RCA task, I need an extra button when submitted for approval, which will move the change to open state. How do I configure this? This sounds like a UI action, but I'm not sure. All right. Sounds like a UI action. Based on the question asking for a button, I would need a little more information to give you any technical advice. Spell technical correctly. On how to, ooh, I spelled the British way, on how to proceed. If you are looking to put a button, on the form, the condition field on the UI action determines when the button appears. The condition must evaluate to true. For example, if you want it to appear in the state, let's say implement, which has a value of 5, you would do something like this. Current dot state equals 5. That way, when the state is 5, or implement, the button appears, and when clicked, it will execute whatever code, whatever server-side code. Let's put that in there. Server-side JavaScript you put in the script field. Let's give them a handy link, as I like to do, to the doc site for UI actions over at docs.servicenow.com. Ding! And see what kind of response we get with that. It came in quite a while ago. Well, actually not that long ago, 5:13 a.m. So I might get a response yet this morning. We'll see. Some of these we can resolve within this hour. Some of the discussions go on for days or even weeks. Design pattern of writing script include. Okay. In and out, etc. There we go. If you have any more specific questions, feel free to ask. All right, back to the main index. Let's see if anything new came in while I was typing. And the answer is, how can I configure my org chart in ITSM? It's an interesting question. I don't have any specific thoughts just on the subject. How can I configure my org chart in user profile page on the portal? Configure my org chart. Are you looking for something specific? Hi, Hanson. Are you looking for something specific to configure? Does the org chart already appear? Do you have any screenshots of how you would like it to appear? I'm going to clear that up. I'm not really sure what the ask is here. Okay. Seem to be a lot of those this morning. Good morning, and thank you for joining me. It's nice to see people out there listening, watching, showing some interest, maybe even contributing some help. The holidays are upon us. And I don't have any, actually I have one more upcoming in-person appointment, and that is this Thursday. I will be at the Phoenix Developer Meetup. Developer Meetups are available. If you go to meetup.com and search for ServiceNow Developer Meetup, you'll find it. In fact, why don't I do that right here? Meetup.com. Excuse me. Make that a little bigger. And search for ServiceNow, one word, Developer Meetup. Of course, this is looking within 50 miles of Phoenix, Arizona. I could change that filter. And these are my groups. Look for one in your area. If there isn't one, you can believe. I'll copy that URL out. There's one that shows where they all are available. And we have lots and lots. We're now up to 30 groups. Wow. That was like 20 a few months ago. Across 9 countries, almost 6,000 people are members on meetup.com. So great groups. If you want to talk developers, we get down deep into things like REST and new features that are coming out in Kingston, Alexa integrations, customers sharing their solutions with how they've implemented things, whether they're simple or complex. A whole lot of fun. Not the kind of snug meetings, but more geared towards my text editor. More geared towards the developers. So we're not going to be talking about performance analytics, unless there's something technical in performance analytics you want to talk about. We're not going to be talking about, I want my editor. Come on. Where is it? There we go. We're not going to be talking about project and portfolio suite. We're not. That's not the topic of discussion, but we are going to be talking about some really fun technical stuff for developers. Wow, this is really slow today. Okay, here's the URL. That kind of went into a code. Put that. It's meetup.com/pro/ServiceNow dev program. If there isn't one in your area, consider starting one. Reach out to, I think there's a contact me on here. Yeah, host your own meetup. You get in touch with the ServiceNow Developer Program meetup person. They can help set you up and get you started on that. So, bit of a side diversion there. Toggle annotation. I have an annotation on one form which is not showing by default. I used to get the option to toggle it as shown before. Once done, then it displays the annotation text. I want the message to be removed and directly show the annotation text for all users. They need not click to see annotation text. I tried using document to get element ID, That comes first. So is the objective here to show the annotation always, even if they use the toggle feature to turn it off? Not quite sure what the ask is there either. I have an annotation on one form which is not showing by default. If a user turns annotations off, I thought it was by form. Let's test that out. So here I have toggle annotations. I don't have any annotations on this particular form. So let's find one that does. I know business rules do. System definition business rules. Let's open one up. I don't care which one. Go to the three dots and toggle annotations on or off. Now annotations are on. If I go to, say, the system dictionary and open up a field, probably could have done that right from the business rule. Would have saved some time. That's interesting. Safety is the current application. Safety is not the current application, according to the application picker on the top. So here I have annotations. Wait for it to redraw. Here I have an annotation. And if I go back to business rule, and turn off annotations, that turns it off for the business rule. Does it turn it off for the dictionary entry as well? You know, I thought that was form by form based at one point. Apparently not. Okay, that's fun. Data priority lookup automated test framework. Before I do that, let's check the main index, see if there's anything new that's come in that's unanswered. How to limit the reminder notification sent to twice when feedback is required from the requester. How to limit it sent to before the auto closure of a request. How to keep only 2 reminders and not more so that only 2 reminders should be sent. Okay, how about a counter? You can use a counter field to keep track of how many reminders you have sent and then trigger the notification if it is less than that. For example, create a new integer field on the record called reminder count with the default value of 0. Then create a business rule triggers the notification. In the condition of the business rule, check if current.u reminder count is less than 2. If so, increment it and trigger the notification with an event. Okay. That way, when you get to 2 in the reminder count field, you don't trigger the notification anymore. Business rules and email. Some handy references. Oh, somebody beat me to it by just a few seconds. It happens. It's the community. That's fun. I do that to all people all the time. I think Robert Federick has a term for that. He says, "Oh, I've been Tomasi'd again." Good morning, and thanks for joining. Give me a shout out in the YouTube or Twitch chat if you're watching this live. Let me know where you're from. Always interested to see where people are from. Give you a shout out. If you've got a question, put it in the community, community.servicenow.com. Let's see, we got a discussion going on here. We've got a response. Oh, we got a like. Ashutosh, like that one. That was the one where I pointed to the video. That's not the original author. So thank you very much. Always appreciated when there's likes and helpfuls. We have the priority field on the incident form dependent on the data lookup definition. How can this be set up in automated test framework? Have the test to set the category to example A, but then need to be able to set the subcategory based on the category selected. So automatic ATF is just going to do functional testing. It's going to do the same types of tests that you would do to do functional testing. It automates the testing a human would do if they were sitting at the browser. So your test is going to test the functionality of the data lookup. If you set the category to example A, you can then check to see if subcategory is set to B or whatever. Don't think of ATF as unit testing. It's really functional testing. You are looking for results on the record. Hope that helps. If not, let's send over a friendly link to ATF. Automated test framework. I rarely type this all out. Automated test framework, copy link address, paste, done. All right. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. Anything new come in while we were typing? Actually, there's no we, it was I. I was typing. Execute script Need extra button for approval in problem task. All right, Hari has responded very, very quickly. Thanks for your reply. Yeah, I have to put a button. State is okay, and in condition, I have to describe that this button should only appear for RCA problem task. How can I give that? RCA problem task. I'm not sure what that means. Can you provide more details around what you mean by RCA problem task? What table is your UI action appearing on? Is it problem or change request? What is the field name value you are checking? Technically speaking, how would you tell me when to display that button? Okay. Talk to me, Hari. Need to create change task when change. Okay, so this is my business rule that I was working on before. Somebody else has thrown a comment in here. They didn't want current description. They wanted something else. And dot walking like that will give you an object. I'm just going to say it here. When possible, use get value as in the other current examples. You'll save yourself a lot of problems in other situations. Ding. Looks easy to use. Just say task.description equals current.description. Trust me. Description is an object. Do you want the whole object? Because when you get to Service Portal, you're going to run into problems. Execute script in custom script field. There's a discussion that was started a while ago, but somebody has asked, they're running a script using Glide Scoped Evaluator, I knew there's a D in there, Glide Scoped Evaluator, and they want to return something back to the calling app. That is actually pretty easy. You do a get variable. So let me do a quick search on here. I think there's a beautiful example in here. I just wrote one of these last weekend, or weekend before last, whenever it was. So this is for the use case where you have a script field, much like you'd see in a UI action or a business rule. And you can pass information into this as objects, or you can also return information back out of them. So you pass information in using put variable. So here's a get variable example. And you instantiate an object called evaluator. You put variables in this case, X is 100, Y is 200. They're also putting in a result. And then in their script, it's assumed that it's going to multiply X times Y and return the result. So they're using get variable. That's the answer. Very flexible. If you haven't looked into script fields, they can save you a lot of effort. Hi, Simon. The answer to this one is to use the get variable method on the Glide Scoped Evaluator object. See the example in the docs where they multiply X times Y and return result. The calling script can get access, gets access to the result using get variable. There's three things that I like to try and incorporate into an application when I'm writing it to make it very flexible. It's to make it data-driven by means of condition fields, template fields, and script fields. Then I know that my application logic doesn't have to change much if it's making use of a lot of the other stuff. Some good references there to our script include question that came up a few minutes ago. Let's see what else is new while I've been typing. How actual effort is calculated in project emergency. Ah, good, project, ITBM. Don't know if I have the means to dig into that right now. Fetch folder name from path. Oh, this came up yesterday. Somebody's getting some Active Directory information back and they want to parse information out of here. So if they get a group name like corp abcxyz name prefix, they said, you know what, let's just copy that out. And I'm going to make a script out of this. They wanted help parsing that. Well, fetching groups from Active Directory, we get information like group name. Here's an example. Put that in a comment just so I can have it for reference in my script. Okay. Then we create a new table to store groups, and it's having fields like AD group name, and category. For AD group name, it is same as setting from AD. Okay, that's easy enough. For group name, it'd be like name prefix instead of name underscore prefix. That could be done. I'm going to assume it's the last two parts. And if AD group name contains XYZ, then its category should be XYZ. That one is a little too vague, but I'll try. Let's see. So we want something like var group name equals, paste that in. Hopefully you can see that on my screen. Might be a little small. Let me see if I can boost that up. Do I have the ability to enlarge the text size? Yes, I do. We're at 24 right now. Let's go to 36. There, now you can see. The danger of having a high resolution screen, you have to make the fonts a little larger. Okay, so now you can see that. Let's take that, put that in quotes the right way. Can even tell it this is a JavaScript, so it does a little bit of coloring for me. There we go. You know, I used to be one of those people that just never really cared for colors in my scripts. Over the years, I've learned to change. I can still manage without it. It's not the end-all, be-all. When given the option, I will still use the VI editor in Unix. Okay, group name. Then let's do parse it by underscores. Equals group name dot split based on the underscores. That will give me an array of corp and then abcxyz name and prefix, and we'll say var name equals list sub 2 plus space plus list sub 3. That'll be name prefix. If group name dot index of, let's look through the total string for XYZ greater than or equal to 0. Then, what do they want? Category. Our category equals nothing. Then we'll set category. It's the ABCXYZ. List sub 1. Category will equal ABC X, Y, Z. Do we need to get the X, Y, the ABC out of there? Okay. Please provide script. Here's a sample how it might work. I haven't tested this. It should get you in the right direction. There we go. Darn indentation. Darn copy paste on this thing. Close enough. Okay. And always while I'm scripting, something new comes in. I'm going to make that just a wee bit bigger. There we go. Nothing new has come in there, but I do have new info in the inbox. Information came in here. Ooh, got something marked correct this morning. It's a good day. So he liked the answer about create a business rule with the example. And got a like out of that. Very nice. Okay, how can I read a particular field value from the email and the email integration? This came in yesterday, if you're watching yesterday's show, and we got an email with a body with some info like this, and they're saying, hey, I need to be able to parse out job name, colon, whatever from this email body. That's not really a big deal. I'm going to do a similar thing over here. And let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's see, var body equals email.body. Now, you know what? Let's just do this. Body list equals email.body.split on new lines. Make this a little bigger too. I think I should just make that my default font on this editor. A bit bigger so you can read it. I'm just looking at it on the screen over there. Okay. For var I equals 0, I less than body list.length. Right, plus plus. Let's just go through a for loop on that. I'm going to make that look like JavaScript too. Helps prevent syntax errors. Doesn't completely eliminate them, but it helps prevent them. Okay, then for each line, if, let's see, I'm going to just body list sub I. I just hate typing that subscript over and over and over again. Little trick I picked up from Dave Slusher. For if line dot index of, what were they looking for? It was some keyword. No flag bang. No flag bang. Greater than or equal to 0. This is pretty standard parse and search stuff. Turn it into an array, look through each line, see if that string is in each line. Pretty easy. Then we can parse on, looks like there's some spaces in there. Let's do an answer variable. Answer equals line dot split. I think there's a space in there. You can use more than one character on your splits. And we want the first part. Take the second half of the line divided by that thing. Okay. The answer is in the answer variable. Quick little script. this. Pretty standard stuff. I think I said that before. I don't want to sound insulting by saying it again. Nope. Pretty standard JavaScript stuff for parsing and searching and extracting. Well, let's fix the indenting a little bit. There we go. Gotta make it look a little nicer. If you want to learn more about JavaScript, am I actually out of mail? Nope, got one left. How can I configure my org chart? This is where I said, what are you looking to do here? Okay, Merry Christmas in advance. Thank you. Basically, I'm working on search on my portal. I have added the search group related to the user profile. It worked, however, one of the links on the user profile is org chart. How can I configure it? Got a screenshot? I'm not sure where that's coming from. Can you provide screenshots? I'm not able to put this in context to understand the desired outcome. Thanks. Didn't I ask for screenshots before? Yeah. Okay. There we are. Let's see what's new. Nothing. All right, it is 10:02. In the meantime, the connection was severed to the Flash server. The error code for this failure is, Wirecast giving me some issues. Seems to still be streaming. I am monitoring the stream. Good morning to you. You know what else we can do? One more quick refresh, see what's come in. Let's go back to the unreplied and do another quick search. I got down here, how was actual effort, ITSM, performance analytics and reporting, email notifications opening in separate window. Took a look at that one. And I don't have any sample data to try this with, but they're saying that when they go into the activity stream, the activity formatter, I should say that right, and they click show additional details, it's coming up in another window. You can try it. Let's see what happens. Let's go to an incident. First, let's see what my mail properties are. I don't even know if I have email activated on this instance. Email sending enabled, yes. Okay. Oop, it's going to try saying it to all kinds of people. Let me fix that up a little bit. Send this to my home address. Yeah. If you can't find me on the internet, you're not looking hard enough. No problem with privacy there. Don't go and send me a whole bunch of personal email. Incident. Let's put something in. Incident open. And let's put an email on something that's open. 10,066. Let's make the caller Fred Luddy. I believe Fred has email activated. Double check that real quick. Clink. Open record. Let's see. Notification enabled. fredluddy@example.com. Looks good. And he should get a comment if I put it in comments. What seems to be the issue with demo button B? Post. Should see that in the activity formatter. Down here. Wait for it, wait for it. Let's go check the mailbox. System mailbox outbound. There's Fred's Ready to send. Not sent yet. Does that mean it will show up or not? Email incident. I think it shows up here once it's been sent, not once it's queued. It's currently queued. Oh, there we go. Show email details. And that doesn't show up in a secondary window. Okay, now it's time to ask what release you're on. This is Kingston. I'm going to take a big old screenshot of this. And put it into Kingston. I just tried this on Kingston. Seems to be opening right below the link. What release are you on? More than likely Jakarta, but could be Istanbul as well. But it's worth testing. Sometimes the behavior of some of these things change. I haven't seen that yet. Ooh, someone just put something else in here. What version are you on? Kindly check the console as I did, or it's different. A stream action. Interesting. Okay, going into the console looking for information like that. Good, 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 good. Let's get the discussion going. Get this person fixed up and out of here. Nothing in the inbox. What else can we pick on? Manual indicators, performance analytics, and a database view of 3 tables. Getting to explain how time card hours are affected in resource plan. Future of chatbots. There's a talk coming up on the 12th, tomorrow. Looks fun. Don't forget, I'll be in the Phoenix Developer Meetup if you're in the area. Love to see you there. I'm going to be showing something off about Amazon Dash buttons. If you saw Live Coding Happy Hour about a month ago, I'll be continuing the discussion on that. I've built it out a little bit more. SysParm view, service portal view not selectable. That sounds intriguing. Let's take a look at that. VTB edit board filter feature broken. Posted twice. Please don't do that. Good forum etiquette. Please don't post the same question twice. Otherwise, I don't know which one to answer. I can't keep up with which thread is live. And if I'm looking later for an answer, I might not see the one that you've got. So it makes it harder for people to find the answer. See, that's why I do this, so that we can share community etiquette as well. Email notifications for particular types in incident. Take a look at that. Why is workflow for normal change sending 2 approval requests to technical approver group manager instead of 1? You know what? I'll take a look at that. If they've included any details, I'll be happy to answer. How to get resolution notes from one task to another RITM. Very common. I just wrote this down for somebody at the developer meetup. Is there a way to prevent users from changing CI filters on relation screen? We're getting into stuff that I looked at yesterday. So let's pop back to the top. While I was looking for old stuff, let's see if there's anything new stuff. We are coming up to the top of the hour. I think I'm going to end it there. Okay. SysParm view. Service portal view not selectable. Hello, I have the service portal view, as you can see below, selectable in the list in the dev instance, but in UAT it is not available. Form sections, domain global. So I thought it was hidden, but not. And after I checked first the table sysui view, as you can see below, the view is in UAT with the correct data. So what are we looking at here? Hard to tell when it just says service portal up here. It doesn't tell you what form sections. This looks like sysui view. Sys user, sys approval, sys test, sys SRE request. So service portal view is available on those tables. Where are you trying to select this? Selectable in the list, configure list. Someone has experience with this issue, any help is welcome. Okay. I'm not really clear on what the problem is. Not entirely clear what the problem is. Where do you expect to see this and don't? Can you include screenshots of what you see working on dev and what's not working on UAT? Thanks. See if I remember my 5 common questions I ask when somebody reports a problem. What did you do? What did you expect? How can you reproduce it? Let's see. What was the expected result? What was the actual result? How can I reproduce it? Those are the main 3. I'll think of the other ones as it comes up. Email notifications for particular types of incident. I'm looking at implementing an email notification rule so that when an incident is raised via self-service form, effectively a record producer to produce an incident, with a particular category, subcategory, and incident type, it sends an email to a group of users to inform them that the incident has been raised. However, despite creating the group, creating the notification, and adding an appropriate rule so that the incident has been inserted, active is true, category is correct category, subcategory, contact type, and group is suitable email if successful. Preview mode shows the email and correct recipients and the weight is set to 0. Good. So it should always send provided conditions are met. However, when the incident is raised, only the person raising it receives a standard incident email and no other goes out. Is this because there's 2 notification rules? The person raising it is getting it. Because there's 2 notification rules present when a record is inserted or triggers. No. Despite the conditions being different, or is this because of inserting a record despite the fields being populated once the record producer script has run? Can't see the criteria correctly and never sends. Why wouldn't that one send? It's a separate notification. Do I have enough details on this? Notification, record producer. Check the email log. Hi, Warren. Have you checked the email log and event log? Is the notification generated and perhaps sitting in the outbox or junk or somewhere else? Let's take a look. Debugging notifications, always fun. See what I can think of off the top of my head. Looking at the new incoming list. How to retrieve the user date format. Dates, I love them. What's the function we can use to get the user's personal date format? Personal date format. Well, you could get it right from the sysuser table. All right, that's going to be in sysuser.list. Let's go over there. I have no idea what the field is called off the top of my head, but as I showed earlier, you could get date format. Using the date format field. Inbox, we have mail. Come back to that in just, let's see, just a minute. How to get resolution notes from one task to another in RITM. In a task under an RITM, this is filled up, resolution note. This needs to be reflected in the new RITM created, in which we give this request number as the reference number. Can this be done? In a task under RITM is filled up, oh, it's just a repeat. Related HR ticket field. Needs to be reflected in the new RITM. How is the task under RITM? All right. Normally, this would be done with a business rule on the task table as a resolution note or other field value is populated. An after rule would be used to update the parent RITM. If I remember right, it has a different name. So if I look at sctask.list, I believe the field name was requested item. Request item. I always get that wrong. Okay. Something like this. Execute. Please hold with me, editor. No. Var parent equals new glide record. Here we'll just do RITM, make it a little easier to read. New glide record. screc item. RITM dot if RITM dot get. Current dot get value. Request item. Was request item, right? Request item. Good. Making sure my memory still works. Then we're going to update that parent record if we can retrieve it. Just making sure it's not a blank value. RITM dot, I don't know what we're filling up. Resolution notes equals current dot get value resolution notes. And then RITM dot update. Okay, just retrieving the old value, put it in the new value, something like that. Update, stupid editor. Field names as appropriate. I am assuming that these are string fields. Let me know if they are something else. All right. Why is workflow of a normal change sending 2 approval requests technical approver group manager instead of 1? Category, biomed. I'm confused as to what may have changed in the workflow because John McDonald, the group manager for biomed. So is there 2 approvals and not 1 approval? If he approves one of those, it goes to cab, and it's 9 people on cab get approval because he sits on cab. Would help to see the, got 2 requests. That's interesting. Would help to see the workflow. To understand how he is getting on the list. If the approvals, if there are parallel approvals, that might be one way. I thought change request.list. I thought there was an activity field that you could put in there that would tell you where that's being generated from. And if I remember right, it was inactive by default. So we have approvers. We want to know where they came from. We can add to the list. There's no activity. There's no WF activity. There's no workflow activity. But I could potentially go to configure table. See what I've got on the approval table. Date. But wait, there's more. Workflow activity, and it's disabled by default. So if I turn that back on and go back to the change request, and add that, that's where it gets fun, people. This came up recently too. I don't know why I remembered it so well. Now I can pull it from my list picker, put that on there, and it will tell me which workflow activity triggered that. Doesn't have one. Interesting. Probably because this is sample data. Okay, I'm going to throw that in there. You could also see about adding the workflow activity field to the list, the approvers list. This field is inactive in the dictionary by default. So turn it on at your own risk, albeit minimal. It may provide insight to where the approval is being generated and why. Could just be a script that's going nuts and it's not deduplicating sys-IDs. Don't know. Tough to see without further detailed information. Okay, where to retrieve the user format? Gar Sankar says, just go to the user profile and check. That's what I said. Yep. Oh, got another correct. That script that I wrote earlier for parsing this information out. Thank you very much. Glad that helped. Sporadic behavior between SP get record variables array and sporadic behavior. I've been mentioned. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to answer. Okay. Trying to retrieve variable values selected in the record producers and display on my form widget. This works for some requests, but not others. Has anyone encountered this same before? I have not used get record variables. Getting from GR. GR is coming from data.sysid. Data.sysid is coming from where? Don't know. Are we doing a glide record query in a client script? This is the server-side code. Okay, so it's a glide record query SP to cater to record producers, data.items, item. No, I don't have any idea what's going on there. But I am curious. I always like to learn new things about Service Portal. So what I would like to do is follow that. Let me open that up in a new tab. Follow that discussion in my inbox. We'll see what comes out of that. Come on, finish drawing. Slow browser, take a drink. Good stuff, good stuff. Good stuff today. Okay. Execute script in custom script field. This is the question about the glide scoped evaluator. And I've tried that, but it still doesn't work. Here's what I have. Perhaps you can spot the gap. Part of my script include that calls the evaluator, does evaluate script, and then get a variable of result. Here's the script that calls the sig file for get record result return test. And you got to set result to test. It's not a return thing, it's a result thing. Here's the output. Script record found. It's not a return thing. It's looking for a variable called result. Try this. Function var result equals test. That, then that, no, that, then that, then that. Okay. In your script field. You set answer, then you want to get answer. It's a matter of what you're setting and what you're getting. All right. Requirement is to show a list of reports that are shared to everyone. Some employees have created reports for internal use and set them to share with everyone. That's not good. Need to limit the sharing. Okay, that I don't know. I'm going to keep following that discussion. I don't know if there's a way to disable that. You might have to go to support. Might as well just throw my comments that I'm saying into the thread. All. Don't know if there is a way to disable sharing to everyone. If there is, it is likely going to be a property that impacts everyone. Property that impacts, come on, everyone. I recommend reaching out to support. Community is a great way to do incident deflection, but it doesn't always deflect. Sometimes I reflect back on there. How to retrieve the user date format. That's what I do now, but this might cause me issues. The user format is part of the session. So even if you change the format on the user table, as long as the session is not renewed, the user is still working with his old format. This would give me problems if you use the new format with values in the old format. So I'd hope to use something like get user get date format, but it seems to not exist. Really? Sometimes this might be where I go back to the wiki. Wow. Okay, that's a redirect now. Wiki get user. The wiki is now gone. Interesting. I think I knew that. What did they say, the 11th? The 10th? Okay. Let's see if we can find that in the API docs then. Search for get user. theoretically, this should have come over. Why was I searching the wiki? Because this particular method did not provide me with all the information I was looking for last time. I was looking for get user. Okay, get user display name. Let's look on this page for date, not Dave, date. 208 instances of date. Not going to find it there. Get user ID, get username, get username by user ID, get XML node list, interesting. As role in group. This is all glide system. Where's get user? Get user has other sub methods in it. Reference to a glide user object. So let's look for glide user. That should tell me more information, right? ServiceNow API namespaces class, glide user. There we are. First name, last name, user ID, username, client data, full name, has role exactly, has roles, not there. If it's in the session, he brings up a good point. If it's in the session, it needs to be updated. If they update it, isn't there a GS get session? There is a get session. What's in get session? It's making my brain hurt. Get session ID. Get style. Get trivial message. Get user. Get user display name. This looks awful familiar. What exactly is open here? Glide system. Glide system get session. Where are you? What does it return? A glide session object. Okay. We're going in circles here. Slowly down the trail. Glide session. Spell it right. You have better luck with searches. Glide session is a class that returns. This is the detective work, people. Get client data. Get client IP. Get current application. Get language. Get session token. Time zone name. We're getting close. URL on stack. They're alphabetic. Impersonating is interactive. Is logged in. Put client data string. Could possibly do it with Let me reread that issue. You had a good point, but now I don't remember exactly where the hang up was. User format is part of the session, so even if you change the format on the user table, as long as the session is not renewed. Ah. User will still be working in his old format. Really? When does the session get renewed? Interesting. I have to look at that. How do I configure my org chart? Okay. So I've added the search group relating to the user profile. It worked. However, one of the links on the user profile is org chart. How can I configure it? I don't know where that's coming from. Design pattern of a script include. More comments about the script include. Script include defines a class with one or more functions. Not always. Calling a function defines script include means. Not always. It's not always required or needed. Desired. Defining script includes. It's very common to do it that way, but not always the necessary format. Again, all covered. All this is covered in episode 6. In episode 6. Ding. Evergreen content, gotta love it. Okay, Simon Wilson responded. This is his script thing. Debug record found, function next, rescript null. I previously tried similar changes, set the var answer, and tried to retrieve answer from the evaluator. I'm stumped. You know what I'm gonna do? All right, Simon. I know it's possible. I wrote a lab for CreatorCon a couple years ago that demonstrates this. If you private message me, I can send you a link to the PDF. Let's do this as well. Bring up his message. I think I need to follow him. Can I message him directly? Yep. To Simon Wilson. Oh, I guess I don't need to get a PM from him. I'm going to do that offline because I need to extract that PDF from a zip file. So, wow, I just looked at the clock. It's almost 7:30 and I do have an 8 o'clock appointment. So before I dive into too many more of these, let's check one more in the inbox. I want to quickly mark that one as unread so I remember to do something with it. Since the variable is mandatory, this should be filled in, and only one RITM will be there in a request. Not always. Okay. You just need to update the parent request, then your script is pretty simple. We want to copy the whatever you call variable, WD SA requested for. Okay. Let's do RIATM equals new glide record. think they had half of the script already written up here, but yep. Request, catalog item. All right. I'm going to do a set limit one just to make sure. Request item. Oops, rec item. Wrong table name. That'll get you in trouble. All right, RITM.add query. Request is current.getValue with a capital V, sysid, RITM.setLimit1, only get one record. RITM.query. You know what? I can shorten that up. I just did this as a quick tip. Let's do this. If RITM.get request current.get value request, you can get the record, good. Then current dot requested for is going to be RITM dot variables dot, what's the name of that? WD SA requested for. WD SA under requested for. Okay. Put that in a before business rule, since we're updating values on the current record. Request. SC request. That's better. Okay. Good morning. I am just about to sign off. I think that was the last thing in my inbox. I have one action item to send somebody a PDF. Oop, still going on the comment of a script include. I agree with you. That's the simple example I try to give. Okay, good. Like it. I like it. I like it. I'll like it. Done. Latest claim. Say like on that. Email notifications opening a separate window. Release being used. Let's find out. We are on Jakarta. I just upgraded a Jakarta instance to Kingston, so now I have to go find another one. I think I still have a Jakarta instance. Let me look. Stats.do tells me the answer is Jakarta. So let's go to incident.list. First, let's make sure the system settings. Email properties says, make that a little bigger for you. Email sending is disabled. Email receiving is there. gmail.com. Send email. She's having problems with the activity formatter. When she clicks the details to show the embedded email details, they're showing up in a different window. That doesn't normally happen. I wonder if it happens with all links. It might be a browser thing. Let's find out. Incident.list. Pick a demo record, 10,010. It's kind of hard to stop the community once you get going. Who's this assigned to? Guest. Let's set it to Fred Luddy. Save that. Put in a comment. What seems to be the issue? Are you still having problems? Okay, post that. Check the outbox. Go to system mailboxes, outbox, wait for it. Wait for it. Can take a few seconds before the event handler picks it up. There it is. Wait a few more seconds for it to process. This is the part of the community where it gets real fun. It's still there. Now, last time I checked, I went back to the history, checked my incident. It was in the activity history already. Show email details. Nope, still not happening with Jakarta. Could it be a browser issue? I'm seeing the same inline behavior in Jakarta. I'm not able to reproduce this. Could it be a browser issue? Does it happen to everyone? Are they heavy? So, things to check. Take that out. Things to check. Have you tried another browser? Have you tried another user? Does this happen in all instances? Dev, test, prod. Now, where are we? Get user, get time format. That's interesting. See what this does. I've never heard of this method before. And if you're just watching, it didn't come up in the documentation, or at least I didn't see it. Let's do gs.info. That. Huh? That's the time format, not the date format. They're similar. Date format. Sure is. Okay. Return the time format. There's also one for date format, which I think is what Peter was looking for. Get session, get user, get date format. I just ran it in scripts background like this. gs.info, gs.get session, .get user, .get date format. And it appeared to print the right value. Although I didn't do any checking after switching my profile. Testing cost extra. Wah, wah. Need an extra button for the approval of tasks. This one has been going on for about an hour. The question is, to make it simple, I have created a button called RCA approved, but that should only be visible to a single group. Oh, well, then your condition. This is a choice field. Please tell me how to do this. I'm not sure what this screenshot has to do with anything. It's a choice option on a choice field. Not sure what the screenshot has to do with the UI action. The screenshot is showing a choice from a choice field. If you want to make your UI action available to only one group, then we will use is member of string group. Give them a, oh, that's G user. Shoot, that's going to be client side. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We can do that. Okay. Then your condition should look something like this. Just a get user is member of group name here. There we go. Keep that conversation moving along. So once you get involved with multiple conversations, it's really hard to step away. But I think I am going to have to step away at this point. Been going for about an hour and 40 minutes. Thank you very much for joining. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Don't forget, Phoenix Developer Meetup Thursday night. If you don't have a developer meetup in your area, please go out and check the developer meetup page on meetup.com and find one in your area. If there isn't one available, I invite you to go start one. Again, thank you very much. Happy holidays if I don't talk to you again before then. And take care. See you then. Bye now.